If you're planning on taking your ISSA Certified Personal Training exam in the near future, then you need to watch this video. What's up everybody, and welcome back to another PTPioneer video, your #1 guide for a career in fitness. My name is Nick, and in today's video, we're going to be going over how to pass the ISSA CPT in just 1 week's worth of studying. The ISSA Personal Trainer Certification is a comprehensive fitness training program that prepares you for the challenges of being a personal trainer. The ISSA exam consists of 31 different units broken into 6 different sections. Now, while we recommend preparing for the exam for several months, sometimes circumstances require you to prepare in less time. In fact, if all you have is a week to prepare, you can still pass the ISSA CPT in just 7 days worth of studying. Before we continue, head on over to PTPioneer.com and download your free ISSA exam cheat sheet. The link is in the description as well as in the corner right up here. And then head on over to traineracademy.org and download their premium ISSA study materials. These will reduce your study time in half, and they offer an exam pass guarantee. Now, although it's difficult to study for a personal training certification in just 1 week, it's extremely easy to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you do not miss any of our ISSA CPT videos coming out in the future. Also, why don't you go ahead and leave us a comment if you're currently studying for your ISSA CPT. We're really interested in knowing how many of you have chosen this certification. Now, the ISSA exam consists of 200 multiple choice questions, and you're required to get a 75% across all sections. Before sitting for this exam, you must pass all of the ISSA section quizzes, which you will gain access to as soon as you purchase the CPT package. You will also need a valid CPR and AED certification before you can sit for this exam. The good news with the ISSA CPT is that you can take the exam from home. There's also no time limit, and the test is open book, so you do not have to memorize every little detail before the test. That being said, you should not expect to sit through the test without any previous preparation, as you'll still need to pass all of the quizzes ahead of time. To pass the ISSA CPT in 7 days without any hiccups, we recommend the following strategies and study plan. Focus on the most important information, take a practice assessment at the beginning of day 1 to assess any of your weak areas, spend 6 to 8 hours every day studying with our study optimization strategies, break your studying down section by section and stick to a strict study schedule, take 1 or 2 section quizzes each day so you have them all complete by day 7, and finally, taking care of yourself by getting enough sleep, eating healthy meals throughout the week, and getting enough exercise. Each section within the ISSA curriculum contains important information required to pass the exam. The anatomy and physiology section covers the basics of metabolism, the biological systems in the human body, and the anatomy of muscles and bones. You must be able to explain the metabolism as well as systems such as the endocrine and nervous system. You'll also need to know the locations and actions of various muscles. The section on kinesiology and biomechanics requires you to know the types of muscle contraction and the difference between prime movers, assistance movers, antagonist, and stabilizing muscles. The biomechanics of exercise covers principles such as physics that apply to personal training. These concepts include torque, mechanical advantage, and the definitions of work, force, and power when it comes to physical activity. You must be able to perform basic calculations using these concepts. You also need to know how to assess various postural deviations when assessing a client, and know which muscles are suspected to be tight or weak based on your observations. This unit builds on earlier discussions of muscles and muscle actions, so be sure to understand the muscles from the anatomy and physiology sections. The health and physical fitness section spans from chapters 8 to 11 and contains the breakdowns on different types of training equipment, the different strength training styles, the different strength exercises, and their proper execution and technique. You must know the proper technique for the various exercises, as well as which muscles are targeted. You should also be able to explain the various pros, cons, and uses for the equipment types covered. Unit 9 covers aerobic and cardiovascular conditioning, including the different methods of training such as circuits and steady-state cardio. You need to know the different cardio equipment, how to structure aerobic programs for different goals, and the common terms used when discussing cardio, such as VO2 max, aerobic training zones, interval training, and METs. Unit 10 covers flexibility. You must know the biological basis for flexibility, including the role of muscle spindles and Golgi tendon organs. You should also know which flexibility methods are appropriate for each goal and when each method should be used in an exercise program. And Unit 11 covers body composition. You should know the different somatotypes, the use of BMI and circumference measurements, and the causes and treatments of obesity. The program development section covers the practical aspects of acquiring clients, assessing clients, and developing appropriate training programs for different goals. Unit 12 covers the drawing in phase, which the ISSA terms for acquiring new clients. You must understand the rapport building process, including demonstrating sincerity and helping clients establish an integrated fitness lifestyle. The 5 phases of drawing in you absolutely must know are the following. 1. Establishing professionalism. 2. Data collection. 3. Guided discovery. 4. Feeling the water before you jump in. And 5. Establishing an integrated fitness lifestyle. The Trainer Academy cheat sheet, which is linked below, contains this information and more, so be sure to use this as a reference during your studying. In Unit 13, you'll learn the process of assessing training participants, included graded exercise testing, taking blood pressure, and 1 repetition maximum assessments. You'll need to understand which assessments are appropriate for which clients, and familiarize yourself with the general ISSA standards for performance on these tests. Unit 14 focuses on the overall principles of programming, including the 7 ISSA Granddaddy Laws. You must be able to elaborate on the following 7 principles. Number 1, the principle of individual differences. Number 2, the overcompensation principle. Number 3, the overload principle. Number 4, the SAID principle. Number 5, the use-disuse principle. Number 6, the specificity principle. And finally, number 7, the GAS principle. The additional key concepts in this unit are the types of muscle contractions, the muscle hypertrophy process, muscle damage, metabolic stress, and the methods the ISSA recommends to add additional volume to your program. Units 15 and 16 cover periodization and selecting appropriate training loads to meet specific client goals. Your best bet for mastering this section is to be able to design a program for every goal your client may bring to you. List every programming variable and write out the specifics for each phase of training. For example, how many sets and repetitions for each exercise, the appropriate tempo, rest periods, and total number of exercises, and how much weight to begin with, as well as an appropriate strategy to progress your client to heavier weight. You should also know the markers for overtraining and understand the strategies to mitigate this issue. Nutrition is a huge component of being a personal trainer. First and foremost, you must understand the limits of your scope of practice as a personal trainer when it comes to making nutritional recommendations. Beyond that, you must know how to make generalized but useful nutrition recommendations for your clients. Knowing the recommended carbohydrate, protein, fat, and calorie intakes for different fitness goals is a key component of this skill set. You should know that carbohydrates and proteins have 4 calories per gram and fat has 9 calories per gram. The key is to be able to give your clients good and generalized advice around food choices, labeling, and macronutrients that fall in line within their dietary habits, fitness goals, and their lifestyle. When it comes to micronutrients and supplementation, you should know the micronutrients of concern when it comes to restricted diets like plant-based or gluten-free. These are listed on our Trainer Academy ISSA cheat sheet. The Fitness for All section is the last section in the ISSA curriculum and covers the ins and outs of training clients from different subpopulations, as well as helping clients with adapted fitness, pregnancy, and a wide range of chronic health conditions common to modern society. Additionally, practical sports medicine and first aid are covered in the final units. We recommend reading through each unit from 21 to 29 and modifying your program from the previous section for each type of special population client. For the sports medicine and the first aid units, list the various pains your client may experience, what your best course of action is for each situation, or when to refer your client to a physician or call for emergency medical care. With only 7 days to prepare for this exam, you do not have time to read the book cover to cover. Instead, you need to optimize the time you have by focusing on the important sections we just covered and evening out your weakest areas. You should consider checking out the Trainer Academy ISSA study system, which includes many great study tools including spaced repetition flashcards, mnemonics, and practice questions. It also has a condensed version of the textbook which focuses on the most important information needed for the exam. You can take the free ISSA practice exams through the link in the description to get you going on your study preparation, or check out that link right up here in the corner. If you have already spent some time studying the ISSA curriculum, you should begin your study week by taking our free Trainer Academy practice test to figure out which sections you most need to focus on. If you're brand new to the ISSA curriculum, plan to focus on the sections equally. Note that you will be taking the required ISSA quizzes at the end of each day. This will give you the opportunity for additional practice throughout the week. Spaced repetition flashcards contain a term or a concept and a matched definition. Unlike normal flashcards, you will rate how well you know each concept and put it in a different pile based on its rating. You can then spend more time on the flashcards that you're weaker on instead of the concepts that you are stronger on. You can do this manually by placing flashcards in different piles, or the Trainer Academy ISSA study guide comes with a set of electronic flashcards that will do this for you automatically. Our final optimization strategy is figuring out a 7-day study schedule and sticking to it. Each day you will break down 1 or 2 full sections of the textbook and take the respective ISSA quiz so that by day 7 you have taken all of the quizzes, reviewed all of the material, and are prepared on day 8 to wake up and ace your test. On the beginning of day 1, you're going to start by downloading the Trainer Academy exam cheat sheet and taking the practice exam through the link in the description. Afterwards, note your weak areas and plan to focus on them throughout the week. You will then have to adjust your study plan depending on your weaker areas. From there, the rest of day 1 will be spent reviewing sections 1 and 2. You'll focus on the functions of the major body systems and the locations and actions of different muscles in the body. Once you have studied through either the ISSA textbook or the Trainer Academy study guide, take the ISSA quizzes for section 1 and 2. On day 2, we're going to focus entirely on section 3. Make a list of all of the major muscle groups and the exercises that target these areas. Read through the form techniques on these exercises, and if possible, practice these exercises at the gym using lighter weights if you have never practiced this movement. After reviewing the strength section, follow the same protocol for the flexibility section. From there, design a cardio training program using the principles discussed in Unit 9. Include the target heart rate calculations for the different training zones. Review the body composition unit and then take the Section 3 quiz. Day 3 is dedicated entirely to program development. You need to create a workout program for every goal discussed in the ISSA textbook and list the relevant programming variables for every exercise in your program. Also, include the initial process of building rapport with a new prospective client. This information is covered in Units 12 through 16. List the specific applications of all the Granddaddy principles for each program that you write. Day 4 will focus on nutrition. Review the unit and make a list of the theoretical nutritional requirements for a weight loss client, a hypertrophy client, and a performance client. For each plan, create a list of recommendations for the different diets discussed in the curriculum, including paleo, plant-based, vegan, and other dietary restrictions. List the strategies you might use to help clients psychologically when they're planning out their food. Stick to the concepts discussed in the ISSA curriculum. Finally, take the Section 5 quiz. Day 5 is the final day dedicated to an individual section in the ISSA. To review, take your programs from Section 4 and go unit by unit through each special population covered in the textbook and modify your programs based on the recommendations. Make a list of the possible injuries and pains your clients might experience and describe the possible courses of action you may take as a personal trainer based on the ISSA guidelines. Finally, list the first aid emergencies discussed in the ISSA and the appropriate courses of actions to take if they occur. Then finally, take the Section 6 quiz. Start day 6 by taking another ISSA practice exam to assess what you have learned the previous 5 days. Note any improvements you have made through the week and take note on any sections you scored less than a 75%. Once you have your follow-up score, you will spend the rest of days 6 and 7 reviewing your weak sections. This is a great time to go through your spaced repetition flashcards as well as any other supplementary study materials you may have. On day 7, review your weaker areas and utilize all supplemental study materials that you have. Then get a full night's rest, eat a healthy breakfast, and get ready to crush your ISSA exam on the morning of day 8. Now you're all set for your 7-day study plan to crush your ISSA CPT. Don't forget to claim your free ISSA cheat sheet, and don't miss out on any of the Trainer Academy study materials. Both of these will be linked down in the description below. Please let us know if this material is helping by smashing that like button, subscribing, and hitting that little notification bell. By doing this, you're letting the YouTube algorithm know that this is a great video, as well as letting us know that you guys are enjoying this type of content. Let us know in the comments below if you use this study plan to crush your ISSA CPT.